Hello, guys. This is Luca from Not Here to Break Even, and this is episode 4 of the Not Here to Break Even podcast. Today, I am going to talk to you about career opportunities. And all of you all of a sudden may start wondering how comes Luca that talks about making a career? So, what should I do now? Go on Monster Job or Google for job advertisement? Guys, no, I'm not talking to you about that. It's actually about how you can start creating your own career opportunity. I don't want to be the only one speaking today, though. That is why, don't take me literally, I'll still be the only one speaking today. But what I'm going to read to you is a fantastic interview, a piece of life taken from the Business Life magazine from British Airways. I actually happened to read uh, an article on it about a few weeks back while I was traveling back from London to Zurich about a guy called Jason Miller. Probably the majority of you out there would not have a clue who Jason Miller is. I have to be very frank, I didn't know him either, but probably he's one of the best known personalities and characters in the digital marketing industry today. I believe, though, that the real teachings from these podcasts that you're going to get are not just about digital marketing skills. It is about taking the conviction a step forward and seeing the power that digital skills, that the digital opportunities, the digital world have disclosed to each and every one of us. Yes, I'm talking to you who are listening to this podcast. If you haven't already decided for yourself, if you haven't already realized the power that digital is having on your existence, and what even more power could have for you in realizing your dream life, your dream lifestyle, just follow me for a few more seconds because, well, minutes rather, because you will be shocked by what I'm about to tell you. So, sorry. So, I have really attempted to go about contacting Jason Miller a few times already, using Twitter, using LinkedIn. He's one of the LinkedIn gurus, and I haven't been successful. So, what I want to actually, I've been successful at inviting him, and he's accepted my invitation on LinkedIn. You need to know that Jason Miller is a global content marketing leader at LinkedIn, and he's publicly and constantly tweeting with his Twitter name at Jason Miller CA. And I would like to invite Mr. Miller, if ever is he going to listen to the podcast, to please respond to my messages and requests for support. And it will all also make more sense while I'll talk through that and we'll talk through the article I've read about him. If you are so lucky to get your hands on that magazine, on the Business Life magazine from British Airways, you definitely need to take a copy. I don't know, take a picture as I've done of the article because, yes, it is that powerful. So, what I'm going to do here, that's a disclaimer as well. I'm going to read out loud my notes and my copy of the article that I found on the British Airways. So the entirety of this article belongs to British Airways, Business Life magazine, and they are the sole owner of this content. Now, let me start. So Jason Miller was a 30 something working in the music industry when he decided he needed a career change. But what to do? Oh, as his old time idols, The Clash, would have put it, he didn't want to make tea at the BBC, so he set out to renew himself as a 21st century digital marketer. This is his story. I was 36 and my career in marketing was sinking. I was working in the music business, a dying industry that had decided it wanted to fight digital technology, and it was losing. A side effect of that sad state of affairs was that I was pretty much the least tech savvy person you could have met not by choice, but by a sheer lack of opportunity. I recognized that I needed to get out of an industry that I always dreamt to be part of. There was a wrench. Even more dauntingly, I needed to start again, to reinvent myself. And the way I saw it, the odds were not in my favor. Marketing was speeding up as a profession, and the pace of technological change was just intimidating. How could I start over when I didn't know anything about the technical skills that all the hip marketers were talking about? I felt like yesterday's man, like my career was on the shelf before it had had a chance to get started. But I was wrong. Wonderfully, exhilaratingly, life affirmingly wrong. I was wrong about the way digital was changing marketing, and just as wrong in believing that your past has to define your professional future. Or rather, I hadn't realized that if your past is going to change your future, you can make sure it does so on your terms. So, this is about how I started to turn things around. My first response to my mid career crisis was to enroll in an online accelerated digital marketing certificate program from UC Berkeley. Accelerated so that I could be selective and purposeful, skipping all the tangential stuff and focusing in on the digital marketing skills he desperately needed. But that was just the starting point. I discovered that digital was changing marketing and professional life in other ways I hadn't imagined. And those changes were creating opportunities rather than taking them away. More than anything, I saw how the changing nature of work meant that my new career would be defined by who I was, not by guessing at who other people wanted me to be. The minute I started dressing and behaving in a way that was true to myself, I was amazed at how many opportunities were unlocked. Marketing in the digital age genuinely embraces creativity, diversity, and authenticity. And the digital age makes it far easier to connect on opportunities that align with your own very personal brand. That's the insight that changed my life. So, how did I learn how to put it into practice? Building a personal brand. Your personal brand is essentially how the world sees you. It's your reputation, who you are, and what you value, all wrapped up in a unique perspective that you bring to the world. And it's not optional. If you exist online in any way, shape, or form, then you have a personal brand, whether you've decided to create a brand for yourself or not. You have to take control of how the world sees you. I haven't used a resume for the last 6 years. I would really struggle to write one today. On the very rare occasion that someone asks to see one, I simply direct them to my LinkedIn profile. The great advantage of that profile is that it doesn't just tell people what I'm about, it demonstrates what I'm about. The work that I'm most proud of is there for them to explore, as are the recommendations and the endorsements from people I value most. The more active you are in managing your personal brand, the more control you have over your life. The things that make you unique in the world and in your industry are only going to be noticed if you put them forward and celebrate every day. An actively managed personal brand means you're not waiting for things to happen to you. You're inviting those things to happen to you. Finding your voice. Just as the digital world gives you a personal brand, it also gives you a voice. The voice can be awkward, inconsistent, and untrustworthy and sound the same as anyone else, or it can be distinct, fresh, exciting, and something that's true to you. My voice is one part Axl Rose, one part Jerry Seinfeld, and one part Stephen Hawking. It doesn't sound like these people because otherwise it couldn't sound like me. However, it reflects three personal brands that I've always identified with and three parts of myself that I want to put front and center. I try to take edginess from Axel, dry humor from Seinfeld, and authority from Hawking. Ambitious, I know, but with your voice, you can and should aim for these things. This is where being true to yourself comes in. I've never fronted Guns N' Roses, but I've been a heavy metal and hard rock fan all my life. I spend my spare time as a concert photographer just so I can get closer to the action and live and breathe the attitude. But you know what? I'm also a bit of a geek. I love the technical stuff, the scientific detail, the fascinating facts. And like lots of geeks and lots of metalheads, I was a massive Seinfeld fan. My new role brought me to B2B, business to business marketing, somewhere I never expected to find myself. It was a pretty boring field, a tidal wave of white papers designed like instruction manuals or the type of pamphlet you'd see on the counter at a dentist's office. Everyone was doing exactly the same thing, and so I decided to adopt what I call the George Costanza approach to marketing and career management from a classic Seinfeld episode, The Summer of George. Do the exact opposite of everything the industry does. My ex-Jerry Steve turned out to be ideal for these, suggesting, provocatively but intelligently, that the way things had been done in the past wasn't the way they needed to be done in the future. It quickly got me creating content and sharing opinions that were full of new ideas, fresh thinking, and a different perspective. It was fun too. The web is your virtual PhD in any topic you can imagine. The rising tide of digital skills that had so intimidated me when I was at my career nadir proved to be the last of my worries. In fact, it was a huge opportunity. As marketers, we've become so obsessed with the disruptive threat of the internet that we forget it is fundamentally the most incredible knowledge tool ever invented. These days, when I want to experiment with a new content format or technology, I just go online and start looking. The same applies to staying in touch with the issues that I care about in digital marketing. I built a list of the smartest marketers and the blog that they write for and added them up to an app called Feedly. I check these every morning to kickstart my thinking and give me great content to share with my social networks. Relationships are everything. Every opportunity that has come my way since I left the music business has been the result of either meeting people at conferences or networking events, or having the courage to reach out to people who inspire me on platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter. One of the first I reached out to was Anne Handley of Marketing Profs, who'd co written Content Rules, the most empowering book about content and social I'd ever come across. Anne turned out to be as empowering and generous as her book. She gave me my first guest blogging opportunity, set me in my own way, and fired a passion for content and social that still drives me today. If I hadn't taken that decision to build a brand that reflected who I am, I don't think most of my opportunities would have ever happened at all. Maria Pergolino of Marketo, who, have, who gave me the big break in the second half of my career, hired me based on the brand that I was building online. I learned more from her and Marketo in 2 years than I had in 12 years at my last music industry gig. Never be the smartest person in the room. The more you realize the importance of relationships, the more you start to realize that your success is not all about you. You may be at the center of your own professional story, but the characters around you have a huge influence on that story. Make sure they are the smartest people that you know, and try as hard as you can to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you are. It's the best way to keep learning, keep evolving, and keep your life and career interesting. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. 7 years after leaving the music business, I now travel around the world speaking at conferences about digital marketing and how to leverage LinkedIn. In addition, I now teach the very same digital marketing course at UC Berkeley that I took online to help transform my career. Even better, I still have the connection to the music world through my photography, the rock blog I write, and the friendships and professional contacts my love of music brings about. No, music's no longer a source of frustration to me. I find myself loving it all the more. If you'd asked me 7 years ago if I wanted to be a business to business marketer, I would have said that you were out of your mind. That's partly because I didn't understand what this career could involve, but also because I hadn't understood the extent to which the digital age enables career reinvention. It's never too late to decide you need to do something else, but first you need to remind yourself who you really are. And this, guys, is the end of the article. But there's a few things I'd like to remark. So there's so many things that, personally speaking, resonated with me and my own life at the moment I was reading this article. And I guess that while I was reading it out loud to you guys, some of these things might have well resonated with you. And I feel so filled. I feel so filled with the emotions as I write this, as I'm reading this, that I will have to put things in order a bit here. So what's so painstakingly right, in my opinion, on my humble opinion, and what's really resonating with me, and what I really believe you should take away with you out of Jason Miller's story. First of all, that each of us, you guys, are one unique human being, and nobody, nothing will be able to replace you. Second, learning new skills is not only possible, I'm specifically here talking about digital skills, but it's never been easier than today thanks to the internet. Third, taking the steps towards change and keeping the pace every day will get you to your destination. There is no doubt about that. 4, the digital world opens up unprecedented opportunities for those who are willing to discover them and put them to the best use. 5, being true to yourself has never been cooler and sought after. 6, you are eventually and ultimately what you make of your life. 7, you must surround yourself with great and smart people who can help you elevate your skills. And the last point, you must get a focused and high quality education in digital marketing, of course, if that's your thing. Guys, these are really all precepts I truly believe in. These, you can call them words of wisdom, if you will, have really opened my eyes to the rest of my life. Even before I read this article, I read Jason Miller's account of his own life on the Business Life magazine. The digital world, guys, is a wonderful place to be because it allows so many possibilities to reinvent yourself that it's unequal to everything you've experienced before. And to be honest with you, guys, I know that it can be daunting no matter where you are in your journey of life. We all need guidance and support to learn these skills, to apply them, and to build a possible brand for ourselves. Remember what Jason Miller was saying about the digital brand. You can virtually be whatever, whoever you want to be, but make sure that who you are projecting in the digital world is true to who you want to be and who you are. So, Jason Miller was 36, right, when he decided to change his life and started his journey doing what defined the rest of his own personal path to success. What did he do? You may rewind this article, but the first thing he did was he got himself an education. He didn't just go for any education though, but he took a well reputed institution that could provide him with the top notch knowledge he needed. I'm talking about now about 10 years ago, guys. And this is very sensitive to me because I just turned 37 a few weeks before recording this podcast. And what I have decided to do for myself slightly before turning 37 was to undertake a specialized education in digital business and digital skills. So I want to draw a line here. You, each of us really, are really as lucky as we will ever get to be. You guys, we all have the great opportunity now, not tomorrow, not in 10 years, to learn expert digital skill, to become a professional digital marketer, to surround yourself with people that are much smarter than you are. No offense taken, guys. That I know a lot of people who are much smarter than I am, and I know that many of you out there definitely are, who will help you get to where you want and need to be. So, if you are in any way considering to finally make a turn in your life, to become a digital marketing professional, and to learn skills that will ultimately disclose you the opportunity of the digital world, of a digital lifestyle, to reinvent yourself and transform your existing and your career in ways that you never believed possible. You remember what Jason just said about himself, what kind of doors it discloses to him. I think that speaks for itself, right? There has never been a better place than here. And there's never been a better time than now to get started. If you haven't done so already, sign up to my Not Here to Break Even newsletter now. You can just use one of the many forms that are spread throughout my site, notheretoBreakeven.com, and you will get the immediate access not just to my newsletter but to the splendid 7-day video series on how you can create for yourself, starting with a digital education, to create a digital business and a lifestyle you love. Guys, if you have already signed up and you've gone through the videos and you're still thinking about it, my message to you is you're missing out big time. You could be the next Jason Miller. And even if you are not going to be like Jason Miller, because let's be honest, not everybody is going to be Jason Miller, not everybody is going to be Elon Musk, but you still have a way to go on improving your existence. You want an example? Just think about the time that you will get back to you. You will finally get back the life that you are spending doing things that probably today, I must assume, since you are here listening to the podcast and hopefully signing up to my newsletter, because you're not happy about something in your life. And I truly respect that because I am on this planet as you are. I have been where you are. I was in a moment, in a place of my life where I was not really happy. I tell you that what I started doing, what I started applying, becoming a digital skills expert, namely digital marketer, affiliate marketer. This is not what you need to become, guys, but I want you to take away this message. Digital skills. Get digital skills. I can help you get there. So sign up, take action. Because as a wise man told me once, time is not money. Time is everything. Take your time back. Guys, I will see you there. And please sign up. Back to Not Here to Break Even. Have a great rest of your day, guys.